Hello everyone, welcome again to another YouTube video. So in this video we are going to do this design actually in Kivy, but not exactly this design yet. We're still going to make this, but not this yet. So we're going to create a skeleton. I have already created a Python package called Matcha skeleton. The name of the dating app is Matcha. So for each design I make, I'll give it a name, right? So I'll call this matcha skeleton, and we have the presentation POI created and all of that. So we'll go to screen manager and add that. Let's not forget that. Matcha skeleton. So I would set my presentation. So once I'm done adding this here, what I want to do is to open up this new, yeah, just the logic is kind of like a bit the same. So yeah, everything at the top except this guy here. We'll have to change this guy to Matcha skeleton screen. So that should be the name of the class. And here we do the same. So I will go to my main.py and I would love to set this to, yeah, just because it is the design that we're working on. Matcha skeleton screen. And let me run that and make sure there is no error. Alright, there's no error. So next thing I want to do is to set the screen size of this to be the size of a phone. So I'll tap on this guy and head over to modules, head over to screen. So I love, okay, this last one. I like to use this last one. I'll copy that. I'll go here on my PyCharm. Yeah, if you're not on PyCharm here, if you're on whatever, if you're on VS Code, you can simply copy the whole command and paste on your terminal, and then follow the changes that I will make next. So I will delete the configuration, and do not forget your -m. So this should be 1x, 1x, and I want this to be 5, 5. Okay, now we added this and it's working fine. Next thing, I'm going to kind of like pull up this design, and sorry, not this guy, and this guy. So remember, we have a screen with a box layout that goes from top to bottom. When we look at this design closely, we'll notice there are spaces in between here and here. I guess this should be 10 dp. My guess is 10 dp, I guess 10 or 15. That's not 20 dp. Am I looking at it? Is it 20? Maybe when we start coding, we'll know whether it is 20 or 10 or 15, but it's around the range of between 10 to 20. So what I'll do is to go to my matcha screen, and I'll create a box layout. This auto completion, not today. So we have a padding. Let's start with 20 first. We have a padding, yeah. Then to make sure that the layout is what we need, I'm going to create a box, a button, and stop and set the size hint y to none. So I want to set the height here to 45 dp, and I want to create another button here which has no size, and then I'm just trying to find a balance for 1, 2, and 3, the last one. So then the last button should be, I guess this is bigger, should be 50, 50 dp. I'm going to run that to make sure that things are in shape. So that is 45 dp. That is okay. So the spacing is what I'm concerned about. Uh, okay, okay. Let me change the um. I want to change the screen DPI back to 2 for my modules on screen. Just tweak it to whatever way you like. So yeah, so it looks a little. Yeah, that's okay. Not too tiny. Exactly. So I love it that way. Back to, let me close that out. Then back to our design. Not this. We are on Matcha. Okay. So now we have our design um, in a skeleton shape. Let's try to break it more down, right? So we have an icon here. We have two icons here. For now, we're not going to make these two icons overlap. We'll make them overlap in the actual design. For now, on this skeleton, just two icons is enough. Yeah. Okay, so I would create for this button here. I will convert this to a box layout with size hint value of none comma none, and size will be self dot minimum size. Yeah, this box layout is horizontal in nature, so I'm not going. Horizontal is already declared by default. I'm going to create a button. Forget the text. We're not in. Just stop, please. Okay, so I'm going to create a size hint again here. None comma none. Size will be 45 dp by 45 dp. So let's run that and make sure these are okay. Yeah, so one icon at the top here. Then next thing I'll do is to put a widget in between, just an empty widget. I think it will adapt to the size. No, I'm not going to create a size for you. um I'm going to create another button, two extra button, yeah, and another button. Exactly. Okay, it didn't adapt to the size. The widget didn't adapt to the size. My bad. We don't even need to include this here. This is supposed to be size hint. Why? Only why? Because we only care about the height, not the width. So I'm going to make this height, minimum height, and it should work. Exactly. So we have this space here separating the two stuff. Another way we can be able to do this is to wrap this guy around a box layout, a similar adaptive box layout, and remove this widget if you don't like it. Let me show you. Okay, so this is it. And then I do this, I remove this guy, and voila, it's still the same thing. But I hate the nested widget. So to create that illusion of space, I use just this widget. It's flat and simple. I love my things flat and simple. So next thing is this second guy. What does this second guy hold? Second guy holds an image. It's still a box layout with rounded corners, but for now, let's leave it at square. We don't care about the roundedness. And then it has these two buttons here. But then again, there is something we might be missing, which is this text. So it has a text here, and we'll see how we can arrange that. Excuse me. Okay. Next thing I would do is to go to my Python, and I'm going to a relative layout. Remember from our design rel. So yeah, this is it. This guy here. Yeah, relative layout. So we are going to stick with that. And then we are going to create an async image. We want the image to be async in the sense that it should load automatically. I mean, it should load in the background and display whenever it is done loading. We don't want it to block the screen or to block our UI while loading. So, so I would remove everything down here and then maybe copy a picture over. Oh, it's an actual photo. Okay, so we'll leave it. We'll leave it. I would simply run this to make sure it is there. Okay, it is loading it. Uh, while it is loading it, I'm going to just move back and then continue by adding the two extra buttons. Remember, one is on the bottom left and the other is on the bottom right. What I'll do is to create this button again. Size hint none size 45 dB. And then again we said this guy is okay wherever it is, but I don't like where its y is. So I'll say uh the y should be 20 dB. It should be a little bit above the screen. I mean, because there is a if you look at the design, when we take a look at the design here, it's not actually down the screen. So there's space in there. I think that should be 10 dB if my guess is correct. It should be 10 dB. I'll change that to 10 dB. Yeah. So now if I run this again, exactly. So we have this image here. Yeah, it is not fitting to the screen. We can set the fit mode. So I'm going to set the fit mode to cover. Now when I run this again, it should span across. Exactly. Thank you. And then our Y is pushing it up here. So I think I should, it's 10. Let me call this pose. Then another 10 dB. So 10 dB, 10 dB towards from the left and 10 dB towards the right to bring it somewhere here. Yeah. Next, we are going to create our other button, which is same thing. Size hint, then the pose would actually, the Y should be 10 dB, but the X should be something like self dot parent dot width minus dp 10. Let me see if that works before I explain. Okay, it actually work. So it's working, but we need to minus something again, minus self dot width. Yeah, now it's working. So let me explain. Oh, run that, don't just close it and bring it towards the left. Self.parent, which is the recycle view, I mean the relative layout that is holding this. This is the relative layout box, right? We get the width. The width is from here to here minus self.width minus this. We get this box here, right? Minus itself to bring the position inside of the screen. right? And then we minus dp10. Once we minus dp10, it brings it further here. I mean, it shifts it inside a bit. So let's just let me remove this guy so that you'll be able to. I don't know if I'm explaining it right. So starting from here, you see it went outside of of the content of the relative layout. So it is starting immediately after the width, not before the width. That is how kind of like Kivy works. So now for me to bring it back inside, I'm going to minus the width, self the width. Yeah, it's inside now. Then again, I want to shift it a little bit inside um, to give it a padding. Say, yeah, minus dp10. And there we go, we have that. But lastly, we have, okay, first of all, we have been able to get a skeleton of, we've been able to get a skeleton of one, two. Okay, so remember the center one. Um, we're going to create a label. So this label should be on top of these two widgets. It should be the final stuff we create. It should be down here. You can keep it here, but I don't want to. I want it to always, just in case the screen misbehaves somehow, I want it to always be on top. So I'll say label text. Notice there are two labels here. A label with the name and a label with the location. All right. So 24. I don't know what that 24 number means or whatever. We can use markup to do that. So I'll say, let me use that Christine. Christine. So back here. So what I'm going to do here is to create a text size. The text size should be self.width. I want it to be an adaptive height so that it doesn't span across the entire window. Self.width, comma none, exactly. Okay, so now we set the texture size to this, then we set size hint 1 to none, and then we set height to self, oh no, self the texture size 1. So once you set it to an adaptive height, right? This is how you set the adaptive height. Let me be sure that it is actually an adaptive height. Okay, yeah, it is. So it's a little bit bigger. I'm going to, let's analyze the image again. That should be 32 dp if my guess is not wrong. So I'm going to set font size to 32 sp, not dp, sorry. And then the H align should be center. Okay, we have that, but we need to bring it a little big above this. It should be directly above these lines. So for us to do that, we are going to the um the Y position should be 45 dp, dp 45 plus dp 45 is the size of the button, right? We can even say, no, just dp 45 plus um the padding. Is it the padding? Yes, the padding dp10 plus dp10. So let's just do that. Exactly. So we need to keep it there. Yeah. And for the 21, we can use the markup. 21, the color is a little bit dark. So I would say markup, not markup, color should be is going from this F. I mean, okay, we have one, two, three, four, five, six. Then this one should be. Uh, let's give it a 10. I don't know if that will suit. Say 21. Set markup to true. Let's see what happens. Okay, I think it's a little bit disappearing. I'm going to increase this to C1. Don't know if C1 works. Oh, sorry, not this is 21. Talking about, okay, C1. C1 is a little bit too much. A1. Okay, yeah, fair enough. It's a bit okay. It's a bit okay. Then lastly, we can't put the location button because right now we are not dealing with icons. We just want to keep things simple. So this icon here, we're not going to put it. We're just going to write Solo Indonesia. Yeah. So something here, label. I think this should be a box layout. Yeah. Let's keep things. Let the box layout structure the arrangement. We don't want to mess things up. So I would push this a little bit on the inside. God, stop doing that. Size into y on. I can say height to be self dot minimum height. Yeah. Size it y is none here. Um, we can take this Control X and put it here. Right? Exactly. Next we can create a spacing before I forget. Spacing, should it be 10 dp? Yeah, I think it should be 10 dp. 10 dp. And the label, let's just copy almost everything here. And remove this guy. What did it say? What did she say she stays? Solo Indonesia. Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing here. Indonesia. Okay, for now we don't need the stupid markup. We are going to reduce this to 14 SB. Each align is still center. Yeah, everything is in order. Okay, so we have the same copy of what we have on that screen, but this should be a little bit darker, but we're not going to do that yet. It's complex. It's getting beyond the skeleton structure. So let's not keep it complex. Let's keep it simple. So this last guy here needs to be changed. It doesn't need to be part of this screen. It needs to be part of the window. So it should be the first thing that we add to our main.py. It may or may not be, but we need to take it off, right? So what I'll do here is the reason why it should be on this main.py is because this navigation bottom layer is going to span across different screens. So, but keeping it on main.py is a bad idea, is a bad design. But for now, it's just a skeleton. Who cares? We'll still talk about the good structure later on. So, I can create this also during the on build section. I can go to my import.kv and say box layout. I can call this, what should I call it? Custom box layout. I guess no. Bottom navigation. So I'll call it that. That should be M there. Sometimes I don't like using that stuff. Go away, please. So I would the orientation is already horizontal. What I'll do here is to set the size hint Y to none and height to an adaptive self dot minimum height. It should be an adaptive height. Then I can graze over to okay spacing. Let's look at the buttons and analyze the spacing. Oh, the spacing I think it is 10 dp. My guess is absolutely correct. It's 10 dp. Spacing 10 dp, and it has a padding around it. I don't know if the padding is probably 15 dp. Yeah, it's actually 15 dp. Then I can say button. Don't have time to start creating you from scratch anymore. Uh, Go there. Copy everything here. Yeah. And where's my import the Kivy? So we have 4 buttons. We have 4 buttons here. 2, 3, 4. So the next thing we have to do is to maybe create a class for it here if you want. Yeah, I want. So I can say class. Mm, this is looking ugly. I don't like it. Just import factory, please. From Kivy dot factory import factory. Change this guy to art box layout. Yeah, let's use factory to load it, please. So I can say, I think it should be before, no, after I have added my window. The window should be added on the screen. So I should do this on start method, def on start. Yeah, if you do it on build, it will go behind your screen. So you need to add it after you have added your screen manager so that it will appear on top of your screen manager. So I need to call my window. Can't you just import this Kivy call window? Yeah, dot add widget. So the widget is factory dot bottom navigation. Let's see if that is scary. Will it crash? Okay, so it's here. But one problem we have already is that it is not in the center. So we need to actually make it an adaptive. mm, an adaptive size, not just height. Size and self dot minimum size. Okay, that is done. What I need to do now is to position it in the center. Let's see if pose hint does the magic. I naturally don't think. Maybe if it works, then hallelujah. I love just 0.5. I hate that zero in front of it. What is the matter? Okay, none, comma none. Oh yeah, it is in the center. Good, good, good. But its padding is actually not padded up. We need to bring it a bit up. Um, the Y, we need to just only change the Y position. The Y position, what is the padding of Matcha? We need to get the padding of Matcha is 20 dp. So we should bring it up a little bit by 20 dp. 20 dp. Exactly. We want it to be, let's make sure it aligns with this rectangle. Oh, it's way beyond. That is because there's what? Why is that? There's too much spacing in here. Since we already have a pad, having a padding does not change anything. Let's put a color here to make sure of what we are saying. Canvas color RGBA, not black, please. Give me a red. Okay, give me a white. Rectangle size, self dot size, pose, self. Okay, yeah. So it's actually good. So it's actually somewhere here. So I think I love that 20 dp padding. Is it actually 20 dp padding down here? I guess it's not 20 dp padding. Anyways, whatever. So it's on the same bottom layer as this button here, which means it is actually okay. So now I can go to my screen matcha skeleton and delete. I'm going to delete this guy, and I can go back here and delete this guy also. I don't need it, but now it will cause my image to come down. Yeah. So we don't want that. These two buttons down here are part of this image. So we want to bring them a little bit up. We would increase our padding to be the size of this bottom navigation. So this bottom navigation is 45 dp by height plus a padding of 15 dp top and bottom. So 15 plus 15 is 30. 30 plus 45 is 75 dp. So we need to make this padding to be, let's call it 80. 20 dp for the top, 20 dp for the right, and 80 dp for the bottom. Yeah. So if we love to add extra space, we can even make this thing 100 so that there will be a clear demarcation between both. Exactly. Now we are talking. So this is our skeleton. This last button, this last navigation layout is added to the window object. So we can look at both design, although it's clearly not the same thing, but mm, okay, although it's clearly not what we're looking for yet, but it actually fits the description of where we're headed to, right? Um, we'll get back to this in our next video. Next video is we'll focus on actually designing every bit of component one by one, right? We'll design the component as beautiful as we can, It's not going to be exactly like this because they have blurrish backgrounds and all of that. We can add the blur effect, but we'll try our best. We'll try our best. Okay, guys. This is our skeleton, and see you on my next video.